What is going on, ladies and gents? It's your boy Lampsy back again with another video, and today we're going to go over the Premier League's most underrated players. Now, obviously, some of these players are going to be a little bit controversial to everyone's, opinion and everything, because everyone goes to different clubs, everyone sees different teams, everyone looks at other players differently. But nonetheless, guys, this video is probably going to be a little bit long, so I'm going to try and speed this one absolutely up. So nonetheless, if you do enjoy, please give it a like, and let's get cracking. So, the first one we've got is good old Phil Foden. Now, Phil Foden is a fantastic young gun who plays for Manchester City. Now, obviously, he did get a winner's medal last year. He is born in 2000, I believe, so he's still very, very much a teenager. If he was living in Australia, far out, he'd still be in school. But nonetheless, Guardiola compares him to Johan Cruyff, which is pretty crazy. But the thing is, though, I feel like he's really, really underrated due to the fact that, he is really young and obviously the team that he's in. Now, put it this way, if he, Phil Foden, played in a team, say mid-tier table team, he would get a look in every single week. Now, Phil Foden obviously doesn't get a look in every week, sometimes doesn't really play at all. But the fact is, though, it's because Man City have that crazy team. They've got so many players that just can come in and out of the squad. That's probably why it's so hard for Phil Foden to come in. But when he does play, he definitely makes, that team gel that little bit more. I don't know what it is about Phil Foden, but I think it just might be that English chemistry. Everyone loves him. He was in that World Cup squad as well when the youth English squad won the World Cup. He's a fantastic player. He came off the bench on the weekend as well, which is fantastic. But he is an absolute young gun. I feel like, he's really underrated for the fact that, because he is playing in Manchester City. But nonetheless, guys, let's move into the next one. So the next one is Richarlison. So Richarlison made a big money move from Watford over to Everton for 40 million euros, which is absolutely crazy. Now, if anyone watched Richarlison at the start of last season, he was absolutely phenomenal. Everyone was like, whoa, who is this guy? He was from Fluminense, and he was like, wow, this is this new Brazilian off the block. And then obviously the second half of the season, he basically fell off a little bit. He lost confidence, and then I believe it became a mental thing. But obviously a whole new start of the season, a big price tag on him, and the first couple of games he scored 3 goals. If he kicks a couple more goals, I can see him already being the first Premier League Player of the Month for FIFA 19. So I'd be really excited to see that. But Richarlison, he's a fantastic player. He's going to give a lot to Everton this season. He's going to be fantastic, like I said, and I'm really interested to see what the future has for him. But but moving on to the next one, we've got Matty Ryan. So obviously this is going to be the first controversial one that a lot of people are going to talk about. Now, putting aside the fact that he plays for Brighton, he did play for Brugge a couple of seasons ago. But put it this way, Matty Ryan is a fantastic goalkeeper. Now, obviously his defenders aren't great in front of him. Obviously that's probably why he concedes a lot more goals than you think. But the thing is, though, he had a pretty good World Cup. He only let in about 4 or 5 goals for Australia, and Australia are really bad. But the thing is, though, if you put Matty Ryan in the decent team as well, no way known to be picking the ball out of the back of the net as many times as he does for Brighton. But the thing is, though, it's really everyone's opinion. I feel like Matty Ryan is a great goal stopper, and his handling is usually pretty good as well. So I feel like he's really underrated for the fact that he plays for Brighton, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But moving over to the next one now is staying with the Australian thing, we've got Aaron Mooy. So Aaron Mooy is obviously a fantastic player, all-rounded player for that fact. Now, obviously he played for Melbourne City, so I have been seeing him play at least for the last 4 years or so. Obviously he played for Melbourne City, moved over to played for Melbourne City, then moved over to Man City, then went to Hudhud on loan, and then Hudhud bought him out. Now, obviously, he was really key in the fact that Hudhud came up to the Premier League, and then obviously really cemented his spot last season. Now, obviously, he got a couple of informs last FIFA. He's so all-rounded, he does everything. I believe he's Australia's best player. He absolutely killed the World Cup for Australia when we needed him the most. I know Australia didn't win any games or anything, but he was fantastic. Aaron Mooy is a great player. There was even talk that he was going to go back to Man City this season, but obviously that didn't go through. But nonetheless, guys, he's a fantastic player. I feel like he is going to be an absolute gem of a card in the next FIFA. I think he's going to be 80 or 81 rated. He's going to be great. He's going to be all-round, and I reckon he's going to go for quite a bit day one. But to be fair, Aaron Mooy is a fantastic player, and I think he should be given a lot more credit when it's due. Now, moving over to the next one is we've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Now, obviously, everyone knows that Chelsea love to flick off their loan players. Now, Chelsea have probably one of the best youth academies in the world. Now, obviously, Chelsea have I don't know, developed so many good players and then just flicked them off. There's only been one really key player that's really cemented a spot into, you know, the first team, and that is Andreas Christensen, who went on loan to Mönchengladbach and then came back and was like, oh, hey guys. But nonetheless, Ruben Loftus-Cheek shouldn't be too far behind that. Now, he is a fantastic player. Last season, he spent the whole season on loan at Crystal Palace, played 28 games or something for him. Obviously, still didn't play a full season due to injury, but once he gets a full year under his belt, I think he's going to be a fantastic player. Obviously, just seeing what he can do for Crystal Palace got him the call up to the English national team for the World Cup and played quite a few games for them anyway. But nonetheless, he's a fantastic player. I'm keen to see what Ruben Loftus-Cheek has got to offer. I feel like he is really underrated with the fact that, you know, his time and everything, and like he's just so versatile. He can play anywhere across the three midfielding spots, so the central defensive midfielder, central mid, and centre attacking, and can also play on the left side as well. So he can play in a number of different positions, but he's a fantastic player, and he is definitely one to look out for. Now, the next one we've got on this list is Dom Solanke. So this one is another controversial one. My brother did mention Dom Solanke to me, and I thought, all right, maybe I will put him in. Now, obviously, he's another player that's come out of the Chelsea Youth Academy. He's only scored one goal out of 27 games since going to Liverpool, but he's come off the bench probably like 90% of those games. Now, to be honest, he's a fantastic player. But the thing is, though, who is going to break Salah, Mane, and Bobby Firmino, and then also you got Shaqiri in there now, so it's really, really hard for him to, you know, break that team. So, but the thing is, just like what I spoke to you before about some of the other players, like if he played for a mid-table team or a lower table team, he'd be probably scoring about 15 plus goals a season, because he's got that, you know, that threat up front. He's got that ability. He's got that technical awareness. He's a great player. I feel like he's got a lot to offer, but to be fair, he is only 20, so he's still really young. He still can develop a lot more, and the future will be we'll definitely find out what he's like in the future. But moving over to the next page, we're staying within Liverpool at the moment. So we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, there's probably not much that I can tell you guys that you already know. Obviously, he made a Champions League final. You know, he's a great Liverpool player. Like, he wants to be there. I think he is from Liverpool. He wanted to be there since he was a kid. Looked up to Steven Gerrard. He played 33 games in all competitions last season. He's turning into one of the Premier League's best right backs. He's a great passer. He's a great defender. He's really pacey. He's a great dribbler as well. So he's got all the attributes that you want to a wide back. He's fantastic and plays a wing back as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if Klopp does play him as a right midfielder if need be. But he's a fantastic player. He's definitely got a lot of potential. He's still so young. He just set the scene really well last season, and I'm really excited to see what Trent Alexander-Arnold's got for this upcoming season. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes one of the best right backs in the world with the next few years to come. But the next one we've got on the list is Ruben Neves. Now, I didn't want to go over too many players that, you know, have just joined the Premier League. I know it's really hard to sort of make a view on the players that we haven't really seen too much, but I know Ruben Neves is an absolute gem. Now, my brother and I have been paying close attention to him for the last 2 years. He did come from Porto to go to Wolves. He was on loan, and then Wolves bought him out. He was a fantastic player. He's so all-rounded across the ball. He's got a banger of a shot. Like I said, he's really all-rounded, and he was wanted by a number of different clubs at the end of last season. Let's say by the likes of Man City, I think, Man United, Arsenal, I think, were in there as well. Tottenham, I think, may have been after him as well. He is an absolute gem of a player. We can already tell by the fact that the first 2 games in the Premier League, scored an absolute gem of a free kick for the first game, and then obviously had a crazy volley shot saved by Kasper Schmeichel in the second game against Leicester. But he is one player to look out for. He's definitely got that Portuguese, you know, style play in him. He is a gem to watch on the eye. He's still really young, and he is definitely a player that you want to keep your eye on, and he's definitely the player that Wolverhampton really want to push forward to have a good season. So I'm really looking forward to having Neves, and if I was you, if you do fantasy, I'd definitely be recommending getting Neves in your team, because he's really cheap. But moving on to the next one on this page is we've got Pascal Gross. Now, Pascal Gross was basically very instrumental in the way that Brighton stayed up last season. Kicked 7 goals. A lot of them did come from the penalty spot, but he's very reliable. He's definitely that German engineering player that you want. Can play across anywhere over the central midfielding spot. He's a great passer of the ball, and moving forward, I think Brighton rely a lot on Pascal Gross. Now, if the thing is though, if he wasn't as reliant on, if the team wasn't so reliant on Pascal Gross, so if you chuck him into say like an Arsenal squad instead of Mesut Ozil or someone, he would be fantastic. His work ethic is great, and I feel like he's so underrated in that sense that he, obviously, I think the only reason why people started to get to know him a little bit more was because he was gaining a lot of fantasy points last season. I think if that's fair to say, but he's a great player, and 7 goals last season really counts for it, considering Brighton obviously isn't the greatest team out there at the moment. But moving on to the next page now, I'm going to whip through these ones because I just want to get this video done really, really quick because I don't want you guys sitting around for ages. But the next one is Ben Davies. He's a great replacement for Danny Rose. I know Danny Rose is probably going to be leaving this season or next season. Like, he's been wanting out for ages. I was actually quite surprised when he didn't go to Schalke, but obviously he still can go to Schalke in the meantime. He's still got like a week or so to go. But to be honest, Davies had a fantastic season last year. I believe he got the knockout team of the season card, and he's awesome to watch. He's great. He's really good going forward as well. I'd probably put 57 shot on there. I don't know why. He's actually got a really decent left foot on him. He's a really good dribbler as well. He's all-rounded for a left back. It's pivotal to have that as a wide back these days, and Ben Davies is great for Spurs going forward. Now the next one, I don't know why people don't like James Milner as much, but he is fucking awesome. Now this guy is so good. He just gets better with age, I swear. Now obviously he's won the Premier League with Manchester City before. He's a great defender. He's physical. He can dribble. He can pass. He can shoot. The only thing about his game is his pace. So obviously that'll probably drop off as well. But he is fantastic. Now he was like I love this word. He's very instrumental going forward last season for the Champions League place to make the final. Now he was great. He played left back for a lot of the season. He can play midfield. He can play anywhere. But he is great to watch. I feel like Milner, I feel like just goes under the radar. I don't know why. Maybe because, look at Salah, look at Bobby Firmino, look at Mane. Now, obviously, look at Keita as well. There's so many players. Virgil van Dijk. There's just so many good players at Liverpool now. And Milner just, I don't know. It's just James Milner. I just think there's a stigma about Milner that people don't like. Milner, oh, he's a good player. He's a fucking great player. He can play any spot. He can go anywhere. He's a great player. He's teaching a lot of the young players at Liverpool many different things, and I feel like he's a lot to do with them going forward, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into a coaching role once he finishes. Now, moving on to the next one, we're staying with a sort of a English theme. Now, Luke Shaw, to be honest, guys, like, he is a great player. Now, obviously, he has been, he's just been so unlucky with injuries. Now, the last 3 seasons, he played 19 games, and he played 8 games. So he's been riddled with injuries. But now he's starting to play a lot of first-team football. Now, had a great preseason. Well, not a great preseason. Had a decent preseason with Man U. And now he's played the first 2 games for Man U as well. Actually, no, I don't think he played last week. Did he? No, I don't think he did. I think Ashley Young played. But, Ashley Young is getting on as well. But Luke Shaw, first game for him, to be honest, I think Luke Shaw did a better job in the first game than Ashley Young did in the second. But Luke Shaw is so underrated. He was wanted by so many clubs. He actually went for quite a bit of a fee at the time. He was such a young English talent from Southampton, and he's a great player to keep your eye on. And Man United, if Mourinho can get his shit together, Luke Shaw can be one of the best defenders in the world. Now, moving over to the next page now. Obviously, I don't have too much to say about these 3, but I know Lemina is a great player. He doesn't get as much recognition. For the fact is that, he came from Juventus. He was a great player there as well. I know he was a squad rotation player at Juventus, but the thing is, Southampton aren't a really good team. I'm sorry for you Saints fans if you are watching this video, but I think you're going down this season. There is not much to go by Southampton this season. They're pretty unlucky. They're just not bringing anyone in. They've just given away all their good players over the last 3-4 seasons. It's really hard, but Lemina is really instrumental. He can hit a banger. He's got pace. He can pass. He can do everything. So I feel like Lemina is really underrated. And if Southampton do go down, he's going to be one to watch to see where he goes and everything. But the next one is another, obviously, a Chelsea prospect. Back in the day, he was youth academy player and then sold off to Bournemouth. He is great. He would fit in the system right now so well. He's pacey. He's great with his feet. Can pass. Long ball. He's so good. He's great from set pieces. Oh man, if Chelsea just kept him for one more season, Sarri would love him. No shit. He's going to be one of the greatest. Well, not one of the greatest. He's going to be he is. In the next few seasons, he's going to be one of the best Premier League defenders in the Premier League. So, no doubt about it. And the same with Lascelles. Lascelles is another good player. He plays for Newcastle. Obviously, it's so much criticism for Newcastle. There's never much going on there. I think the ownership's got a lot to do with it. Apparently, Rafa Benitez is going to be, he's going to just call it quits because he just doesn't get that much help. But Lascelles, he was linked with a lot of big clubs. I was actually quite surprised that he didn't go to Chelsea. Or I wouldn't be surprised if he would go to Manchester United, because Manchester United got a lot of problems going at the back. But he's another player that gets underrated. But to be fair, guys, it's just the team that they're playing for that gives them that name. But moving on to the next page, second last page here, we've got Tom Davies. Now, Tom Davies is a fucking awesome. Like, he was, not last season particularly, but the season before, he was fantastic. Now, obviously, Everton have got a lot of money now. And Tom Davies has sort of been switched out of the team, but I feel like Tom Davies is a first team starter for sure. Like, he's fantastic. Like, he's got so much talent. I feel like he's so underrated. I feel like they just need to give him one full season, and he'll go off 100%. You give him a full season, especially the way that Everton are playing now and the players that I've got, he will go off, no doubt about it. Now, the next one we've got is Jeffrey Schlupp. Now, obviously, he played left back. I feel like he's going to be playing a lot of left mid this year for Crystal Palace. But if you saw his first goal already this season, was an absolute fucking cracker. And when he gets going, he's a great player. Now, I feel like he is so underrated in that fact because he is so versatile. Like, versatility is such a pivotal thing in modern day football because the thing is, there's so many injuries that happen. There's usually an injury once every 2 games or something. And, once players start to deteriorate, from the pitch and, are out for 2 months or 1 month or just, especially when you've got so many games, you need versatility. And Jeffrey Schlupp is that guy. He can play, left mid, he can play left back, left wing back, and I wouldn't be surprised if he can play, left wing as well. So he's just, the versatility is just doesn't get seen that much these days, and that's what I feel like Jeffrey Schlupp. You put him in a fucking awesome team, he is really, really good. Like obviously he's had these moments where he's not so good defensively, but if you put a lot of time and effort and he plays a lot of first team football, he is gonna be a prospect. Like, I know I think he's in his mid-20s now, but Jeffrey Schlupp, just give him a chance. Like, seriously, guys, just pay a little bit more attention. You'll understand what I mean. And the next one is another player that Chelsea just decided to just be like, no, we don't really need him. Is Kennedy. Now, obviously, if you saw him on the weekend, he's got some fucking anger issues, which is pretty crazy. He fucking absolutely smashed Harry Arter. But Harry Arter was being an arsehole to him all game. But the thing is that he has got so much potential. And when he first came to the club, I bought his jersey because I thought he was going to be the next best thing. I thought he was going to be on the sort of same level as Neymar, sort of, but he just hasn't lived up to that potential yet because Chelsea don't give him a go. Obviously, he's really, really good on the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a 5-star skiller. He's so good on the ball, hence why I gave him 85 dribbling. He's fucking awesome. He's so skillful, he's so pacey. He's got to work on his shot a little bit more and his passing, but his awareness and everything is so good. He's a typical Brazilian player, and everyone loves watching those typical Brazilian players. And I feel like if Chelsea just gave him a chance, he would be flourishing in this system. But the thing is, though, is that even going to happen? Like, Chelsea just don't give that chance. But Kennedy, he's one to look out for. If you're ever bored and you just want to watch a game, go and watch Newcastle and watch Kennedy play. Obviously not in the next few weeks because he's going to get suspended. But the last two that I got on this page, and I'm going to try and wrap this up really, really quick, is Demarai Gray and Maddison. Now, obviously, Demarai Gray came out and said that he wants to look to play in the World Cup in the 2022 World Cup. Now, he just said that yesterday as of the 21st. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he does that. Now, the thing is now Riyad Mahrez is out of the limelight at Leicester. Now, obviously, they're looking at someone big, and Demarai Gray, if given the chance all the time, he will flourish. He is going to be great. I know he's really weak on the ball, but if he can bulk up a little bit in the next season or two, he's going to be great. He's going to play a lot of first team football this year. I reckon he's going to kick quite a number of goals, and he's going to assist quite a number of goals as well. I think he's going to be really, really key for Leicester going forward for the future as well. And the same with Maddison. Now, Maddison obviously had a great season ahead in the championship last year. Now, obviously, he kicked, I believe, I wrote it down, he kicked 15 goals last term in the championship for Norwich. And obviously, Norwich, aren't the greatest of all teams, but Maddison, if you're watching him play right now, He is fucking awesome. I did put a striking card on him, but he's playing centre forward, cam, striker. He plays an all-round, but so he's more of a cam now, I think, just watching him play earlier on this morning. But the fact is that Demarai Gray and Madison are really key going forward. I feel like they're really, really underrated in the fact that, you know, obviously they don't get as much airtime, you know, on the TV and everything, because like a lot of, you know, especially like Premier League news and all these Premier League shows, if you watch Optus Sport and all that sort of stuff, I'm not sure, or BT Sport over for you guys in England, you know, the big teams get so much of the airtime, and all these mid to lower ladder teams aren't really talked about too much. So I'm really interested to see Madison play out this season. I think he's going to be an absolute gem. But nonetheless, guys, that wraps up my 20 most underrated players. There are a number of underrated players that I could have mentioned as well, but obviously I knew this video was going to go on for a bit. But let me know what you guys think. I know some of them will be a little bit controversial, but if you have liked, let me know what you know. Let me know what you guys think. But if, like what I said, if you have enjoyed, please give it a like. Please do subscribe, and I shall see you motherfuckers on the next video. Peace out.